Hey guys, what's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of Maps Live. Live. All right. All right. We're ready to jump into this. Going to be talking about some interesting stuff tonight. As you guys come on, we're going to, welcome you, get you guys in, and let's have some discussion, man. Let's talk about something. Let me let you know, as you guys are coming in, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on every Tuesday and Thursday evening. It's always a pleasure. Good evening, Miss Leslie. It's always a pleasure to have you guys on Tuesday and Thursday. And so we're excited about that. And also, please, you'll notice, hi Kathy, you'll notice some changes in the app already. If you've been updating your app, and if you aren't noticing any changes, go to your app store and it should update normally, okay? But you can go to your app store and also it'll say update or any kind of thing depending on what you have. Hi Sheila, how are you? And so you can update your app as well, and because we want you to have every new feature that comes out, because we're constantly updating, constantly moving, constantly adding things. Again, we're in our beta phase, and hey Lynn, and we're about to go into our seed round funding also in March. So you guys, if you believe in prayer, pray for us. If you don't, just think good thoughts. But hey, what's up, Carrie from Dallas, Texas? What's up, Tima? All right, Tima AF. Okay, all right. Hey, that's how you roll. That's cool. What's up? All right, look. So I want to get into this evening because this is kind of interesting to me, and I hope and pray that you guys find it just as interesting and just as riveting as we discuss some of these topics. The things that we talk about this evening, on every time we come on, the things we talk about are actually for your enlightenment. Hey, Ebony from Suffolk, Virginia. All right. I love it. You're up in my area now. Okay. I was born in Halifax County. But the things that we talk about are for your enlightenment. Marie, hey, from ATL, for your enlightenment and for you to better yourself if you're a married person, and to learn and develop and evolve if you're a single person. So sometimes if you have topics that you want us to talk about, I know someone on the last call said we need to talk more about forgiveness. We're going to be talking about that as well. But generally, I want you to know that everything that we're giving you here is to better you. It's not just random. It's to help you to think, because for you, if you're single, when we start matchmaking, we want you to start evolving and becoming a better person. If you're married, we're hoping that what we're giving you is making you better and making you think and making you understand, the positives that are in your relationship. All right, Michael Scott, what's up in the house? All right. Y'all ready? Let's rock and roll, man. If you got the notification, we're talking about age gaps in relationships. Now, age gaps in relationships. And this is going to be kind of interesting. I need y'all to roll with me. Stay with me, okay? And if you have comments, please, you know how we roll. Give me your comments. We will address them as we go along. If you have questions, absolutely, we will address them as we go along. That's how this is. It's sort of a shared experience here. We want everybody to feel to be able to get it out. So those of you all who are watching, but you're not commenting, I don't know you're there unless you comment. Okay? So please go ahead and say something. Also, you'll notice on the front page of our app, we have a new scrolling on the front page. Please go there, add a comment as to how you felt about tonight's live. Okay? When the live ends, go straight to the front, press the plus sign, give me some insight. Tell me how you felt about the live tonight, all right? Great. If you have not got that on your phone, it's because it may still be updating or what have you. Okay. Sunshine Ennis, what's up? I'm glad you're here. Okay, so let's talk about this whole thing about age gaps. Now, look, if you're married, okay, you're probably like, look, well, I got what I got. I'm not going to trip about it. But let me share a couple stories, okay? And Kathy's already started. There's a 10-year difference between my husband and I. Exactly. And I find that happens more often than you think. My wife and I, we were almost 10 years apart from each other. And I know people who are 16 years apart. I know one friend of mine who's 35 years apart from his spouse. So I want to talk about this because we've seen on every side of this spectrum how this could be a benefit and sometimes a detriment. And if you're married, how do you handle that? And if you're single, is that something I need to look at? All right, Lynn, 35 years. You're absolutely right. We've had in the news, there have been a number of people. Bill Belichick, former coach of the New England Patriots, 77 years old, I think he's 72 years old. And his new girlfriend is 21. I ain't criticizing him. He's a very wealthy man. Not saying that's the reason they're together. That's their business. Okay. But needless to say, there are a lot of people who would question that. As for me, I ain't gonna never be with no one. Well, I'm married. I ain't gonna ever be with nobody else anyway till death do us part. But the fact of the matter is, if I were not, I could not be with anybody younger than my kids. I got a 37-year-old son. Ain't gonna happen. In fact, you want to find somebody, if you're in a relationship, and some of you all, if you're in a May-December relationship, either way, male or female, you can share some of your experiences, okay? And someone says, how many years does it take to be considered in an age gap relationship? Great, great, great question. Let's talk about it. First of all, let's dispel a few myths. You've heard about cougars, right? And the whole idea of a cougar is an older, mature woman looking for a young thing. Yeah, I guess it came about with Stella getting her groove back and all that. Yeah. But you know what? The cougar trend, even though people talk about it, there was a psychological study, in a British psychological study done called The Evolution of Human Behavior. And it concluded that men and women in general, men and women continue to follow traditional gender roles and desires. And even though there may be a few, there is not a widespread thing where older women are looking for younger men. It's more the other way around. Okay? And so you may have seen that in the news or what have you, but the whole cougar thing, honestly, is more myth and just sensationalism than anything. Most older women, according to this study, are still looking for men. Most mature women are still looking for mature and established men. Women, maybe you can chime in, because I don't know a whole lot of women looking for no young bodies. I mean, there's some exceptions to that rule, I'm sure. But generally speaking, I don't see it happening. And then you have passport bros. I know some of y'all may hate this. Kathy said, nope, she ain't looking for nobody young. Passport bros. These are people who are actually looking for women, normally of other cultures, because they're tired of, generally it's been black men, I ain't gonna lie. But because men who are looking for other women, they leave North America, they go to Europe, or they go to developing countries like Colombia or Mexico, what have you. They look for a cute little young thing who's domestic and gonna stay in, you know what I'm saying. So it happens, and there are also unwritten or unspoken rules. I know there's an unspoken Muslim rule, which says that if you're dating someone, that it is advised. Now, this is not in the Quran, okay, but it is advised that she is 1/2 plus 7. Yeah, that's right, 1/2 plus 7. If you're dating. And the whole idea is to make sure that you don't get nobody who's too young. Like if you're 28, for instance, 1/2 plus 7 is like 21. So it's a rule that they use. But still, the psychology behind this is that the man ought to be older. All right? And okay, now here's Melanie. True, but we want men who have aged well and take care of themselves. Absolutely. And you know the funny thing about that? Men want women who have aged well and take care of themselves also. So I think people want people who have aged well and have taken care of themselves. Okay, so let's continue. So what age gap do you think men prefer in a relationship? Because I got some stats here that I want to share with you. What age gap do you think men prefer? Okay, if they're over 50, they want a nurse or a purse. Oh my God. Carrie, what are you saying? If they're over 50, they want a nurse or a purse? Wow. Okay, minimum 2 years. Okay, minimum 2 years. No, Wendy, you're not 37. Okay, fine, but that's okay. You look at the statistical analysis performed by scientists reveal that the preferred age gap at the beginning of a new relationship depended on gender and the current age of the partners. Now, at 25, the average man typically partnered with a woman who is 23 years younger. Okay? Someone said 50s want 30s, Sunshine said. 60s want 40s. You do, Wendy. You look great. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to understand this. Okay. Because a lot of times, let me just share with you statistics. And I want you to see how this changes. I think it's fascinating. Tell me what you think. When a man is 25, he's looking for a partner who's 3 years younger. This is statistical stuff, right? Research has been done here. Okay. My husband married me so I could drive at night. Okay. Yes. When a man is 25, he generally wants someone who's 22. Okay. At 30, he generally wants someone 26, age gap of 4 years. Now watch what's happening. When a man turns 40, researchers said that he's generally looking for a partner who is 34, an age gap of 6 years. You see the trend here? When a man turns 50, he's looking for a partner on the average of 42, an age gap of 8 years. So you see, the older men get, let me go further. When a man is 60, on average, his partner, what he's looking for is a partner of 50 years, a 10-year gap. And then 70, 58 years, 12-year gap. 80, generally, he's looking at 66 years, a 14-year gap. So what we're finding here is that men, when they get older, they want women who are younger. The older they get, the younger they get. Now, what else I found interesting about this research is that even for men who are 80 years old, I know y'all ain't trying to be with no 80-year-old single man, right? But for men who are 80 years old, they still don't want any more than a 14-year gap. So they ain't looking for babies. They're just not. Okay? Now, I know that social media tells you one thing, et cetera, but I'm telling you, as a man who is 60-ish, I'm letting you know, God forbid, if I was ever single again, ain't no way in heaven or hell I would ever look for anyone, who's younger than 50 years old. Doesn't make sense. There are a number of things. There's a socialization factor. You want someone who's familiar with your social understanding of things. You want someone who's familiar with life experience. Now, this is talking about men and we're looking for women. We're going to talk about the other side in a second. Okay? Yasmin says, I'm 29 and I want an older man, 30s and 40s. There you go. You're absolutely right. And that tracks, Yasmin. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Why they're not looking to have kids. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You mean the women are not looking to have kids. Wendy says, I said it, that men are more desirable as they get older, but generally it's the opposite for women. Okay. His family treated me horribly because of the age difference. And I believe that. And that's a problem that you do have, Kathy, is that quite often the families don't accept it. Okay. The families don't accept it. As I mentioned earlier, I know someone with a very large gap, over 30 years. They don't have that problem, though. The family has actually welcomed them in, okay, and doing, relatively well. Some of the challenges you find, though, is generational challenges. At 60-some years old, You want somebody who know who Earth, Wind, and Fire is. You want somebody who know the theme to Gilligan's Island, or at least Sanford and Son. I'm sorry. You do, because those are the things that tend to matter, okay? Someone said, this is so true, Cal. If the age gap is too big, you literally are trying to bridge the generation gap. You're absolute. If the what? Yeah, okay, you're right. No, the men, why would they want a woman child? That's not even good company. Kathy, damn straight. Yes, truth. Okay, great. So that's what happens. When the men are older, they want a woman who's a little younger. Now, what does this say if you're single? Women, hear me. This says that if you're single, if you're in your 60s, because I'm telling you what men are looking for. If you're in your 40s, you need to look for men who are maybe around 50. If you're in your 60s, 50s, ain't nothing wrong with having a man who's 60. I'm trying to open your mind here. If you're 58, ain't nothing wrong with having a man who might be like 10 to 12 years older. Now, you say 70. Oh, my God, that's old. He's like ancient. No, it is not ancient. Okay? I'm 63, not close to ancient. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay? And somebody who's 66, because men desire, you need to look at someone maybe 10. I'm saying expand your gap, expand, and understand that the way society has it and the way what we're looking for, sometimes what we need rather is so different sometimes than what we want. All right. Now let's flip the script because our time is gone. What age gap do women prefer? Ebony said you aren't aging at all. Girl, please. I must have paid you. What age gap do women prefer? Okay, let's look at this. For women, a similar but less strong effect was observed after women over 25. Get this. On average, for every 10 years of age for women, the preferred age difference at the beginning of a new relationship between a woman and a man grew about 1 additional year. Let me share with you what I mean. For a woman who is 25, she wanted a partner who was 28. 3-year difference. For someone who was 30, she was looking for someone who was 32. Hear me out. Someone who was 40, she was looking for someone who's 41 in that same age group. Because women tend to think that way. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Someone says, when my husband got sick, his family never said it, but thought I would abandon him. Yeah, because people have that attitude. They feel like, oh, she's young, she's pretty, she got this going on. She don't want him. She's running for the wrong reasons. But love can exist in an age gap. It's so possible. Christine said no more than 5 years for me. Exactly. That's great. Kathy, they were shocked that I took care of them all by myself and didn't ask for a bit of help. Shani says, hi, Pastor. I'm almost 40 and I don't have kids. I don't think a 50-year-old man want any more kids. You're absolutely right. Now, if you're 40 and you don't, but here's something you got to consider, Shani. Here's something you got to consider. If you're 40 and you don't have children, you can look for someone young. And again, there are a lot of factors. I ain't trying to talk about, I don't know you. I don't know what you look like. I don't know any of that. But you have to understand that men are incredibly visual. Look, on this thing, we're going to be straight. Okay. Men are incredibly visual. And if you're 40 and you're fine, as I'm believing you are, you take care of yourself, you look good, you're smart, and you're kind. Okay. If you're kind and sweet, okay, it may be very easy for you to find someone who is your age group, or younger, who would want that. I know a lot of people in their 40s who are having children. Now, that being said, I do know men in their 50s who want children. You're going to have to just stick with it and try to find and just expand your gap. People in their 50s, there are men in their 50s who don't mind having children. Okay? All right. Does this mean that women should not let themselves go because their husbands might be attracted to someone else who looks like she used to? And Shani said, thank you, I am. Okay. Women should not let themselves go. Neither should men let themselves go. But it's for another reason. It's not because they're going to be attracted to somebody who you used to be. Once you're married and you're in a relationship and you start growing together and loving together and understanding each other, all of a sudden the thing that makes the most difference to you is not always the external, but the internal. I've talked to so many men who've had women who have had their wives who want to get cosmetic surgery and all this. And most men are like, no, you ain't got to do that. And women need to start believing that because men are like, a lot of men are happy with the way their wives are. Some of them don't mind. It's not across the board. But I think sometimes we believe that men are more shallow than we actually are. Okay. What we want is kindness. What we want is love and consistency and respect. The fact of the matter is, look, you don't have to change yourself but you got to stay healthy. Stay healthy. Take care of yourself. Okay. That's going to take you a long way. Nobody's caring nothing about how you used to look. We all understand, men get old, mature men are realistic. They know that their belly ain't what it used to be, and they might have a, stomach out and chest in. Used to be chest out and stomach in. Tina AF says, my culture kind of frown at older women with younger men, but celebrate older men. Yes. Tima, that's interesting. Kathy, I'm widowed, but honestly, I don't want anyone else's baggage. The kids who don't want you in the family and wish you were somebody else, etc. Doesn't mean I want anybody young. I just don't know if I want to go through it again. And I get that. I honestly get that. But here's the thing. I believe that there's always somebody out there for you. I just believe that. And that's why we're even doing this app, because we want to match people by values. Okay. And if you don't want children, fine. There are men out there who don't. I know single men who don't want children. I know single men who do want children, who wouldn't mind having children. Okay. Thoughts on plastic surgery and stay looking good. Oh my God. We're going to go there. I don't want anyone with kids either. Okay, Yasmin, you don't want anyone with kids, so I assume you don't have kids. I assume you don't have children. Okay. And if you don't have children, then great. But and there are men who are 50 with no children. There are men who are 45 with no children. Okay. Ask yourself the question though. Why? Why are they? Just in general, men who have no children, if that's a choice, then that's great. Okay. But if they ain't got no children because nobody want to have no babies by them, that's a whole different ball game. You got to get to know the people. Okay. Y'all are taking me off on tangents here, okay? Is it reasonable for people who want to have kids to want somebody without kids? Short answer, no. It is not unreasonable. If you got kids, but you want somebody with no kids, you can want what you want, but it's not reasonable. All right. Let me finish my stats, though. For a woman who's 40, she wants a partner at 41 and a half, okay? But watch where it changes. When a woman turns 50, her partner's age is around 50 and a half, right? But when a woman turns 60, then on average, her partner's age is 59 and a half. When a woman turns 70, her partner's age is 68. And a woman turns 80, she wants younger. So we find that women want older men up until around age 50. And when they turn 50, they don't want older men anymore. They tend to want younger men. And only by a few years. And that has to do with health, with not being able, they don't want to take care of nobody. There are a number of factors that go into that. But I'm telling you this information so you'll know that if you're single, how to orient yourself. Okay? Because sometimes you want somebody who don't want you. All right? A good compromise is to date someone with older kids. Yes. Lynn says it opens up the dating pool because the men start to look and act old. Yeah. And look, and I'm glad you said that, Lynn. One thing that I am doing here, and I hope you're getting it, is I'm trying to open up the dating pool. I hear so often women say, there are no good men. There are no good men. Men are not out there. Statistically speaking, and the numbers don't lie, there are enough men for women to be in a relationship with, to marry. The issue is, are they men that you want? Okay? Are they men that you want? And what are you looking for? Because the men that you may want, 6 feet tall, making over $100,000 a year, body like bam. Okay, fine. Once you narrow that down, the bigger question is, now those men, do they want you? All right. So I think that if you really want to be matched, if you really want to start, I'm talking to single folk now. If you really want to start thinking about matching yourself with someone, it's time to start being realistic and start realizing what makes relationships last. What makes relationships last is not the physical. It's values. It's those things that are intrinsic. It's those things that you live your life by. I've said it before and I'll say it again as we bring this to a close. There are a whole lot of folk out there who have been married for 30, 40, 50 years. Now they're in their 70s and what have you, which is what we all want. They're in their 70s and they look like 70, 80-year-old people. They don't look good. They sagging, they bagging, they got all kinds of issues, health issues, but they've learned to love each other from the inside out. Early on, it may have been from the outside in, but it ended up loving from the inside out. And if you really want a relationship, you have to start thinking that way now. I think social media has screwed us the heck up because all we want is just swiping and the physicality. But there's something more to love than that. All right. I'm going to hear some of these other comments, then I'm going to let you guys go. Now, they're all played out. Someone saying, okay, I don't know who y'all talking about. I'm about to be 50. I want a man between 47 and 55, Tima says. Okay, and that's within your right, and that's within your range. If you're 50, you're looking for one between 47 and 55. But I think if you're the same one to say you don't want children, you're slimming the pool. Okay, because 47 to 55, there's about a 60 to 65% chance they're going to have children. You don't have any be kidding, Kathy. Okay, values, got it. No six pack, no 6 feet. No, it's not necessary. The average man is 5.9. 5 feet 9 inches is the average height for men in America. All right, great. All right, okay. All right, gotcha. Well, I hope you guys got it and you understand the whole point of this. Okay, the point of it is that I need you to expand your thinking if you're a single person and understand that the men are out there. And a lot of men are just terrified. They're terrified of being rejected. And that's something we're going to be talking about in the future. But the men are terrified of being rejected because the standards are so high. It's not that they're not good men, not that they're not capable. That's why a lot of the dating apps, 70% on average to 75% are women because men are terrified. We're trying to even the playing field. One thing we're going to be doing on the app is we're going to have more and more sessions that are focusing on men's health and making men into men. So stay tuned. You're going to be really enjoy that. Okay. I learned from experience. I limited myself with having an age range. Found amazing love way outside the age range. I said, thank you so much, Sunshine. Thank you so much, Sunshine. I have a man, a good few years my senior, but he looks and acts my age. Thank you, honey. All right. Dating apps, yes. Now, I want to share this with you. I'm glad you said that, Yasmin. This is not a dating app we're on now. It's a matchmaking app. And when the matchmaking starts, we're going to be matching people based on values, okay? So get ready for that. But God bless you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. There may be a slight change. Look out for your notifications. It's either going to be on Thursday evening or possibly tomorrow evening, but we will have another one this week. Just a little schedule change, but look out for your app notifications. You'll be getting one, okay? God bless you guys. Look forward to seeing you on the next live. All right, take care.